Hello everyone, my name is Khaled Siddiqui, and in this video I'm going to introduce to you a new, actually it's been around for a year, but still relatively new technology that came out of Black Magic Design, and it's called Video Assist 4K. So I ordered one of these for me and I'm using it right now, and I want to go through it and show you what it can do and why you need one. Is it something for you or not? Okay, so let's get on it. So this unit, okay, so this is the unit. So basically it has multiple connections. As you can see, we have HDMI out, HDMI input, and we have SDI in and out, and we have analog audio, mini XLR inputs, and then, believe it or not, on the back it has twin, let me turn this around, it has twin battery compartments that you can use, and you can even switch the batteries. For example, if this battery drains out, and you could put another battery and continue recording video once and basically without any lap or any pause or any gap between your recording. You can continuously record, and it also has two video ports, or I should say SD cards. And let me turn on the light so you can see better. And these SD cards can also be switched simultaneously, like a hot switch. For example, if you're recording on this and it's nearly becoming full, you can put another card, take that out, and the recording will continue on that card with no pause or gap or any stop to your recording. It has a headset port, and it also has a a DC power supply, 12 volts, and you have mounting, all kinds of mountings. We have three mountings at the bottom where this one is occupied, and then you have one here, and then you have one over here. Three mountings, and then you also have mountings on this side, three of them, which you can use. And basically it's like fully complete unit. And what this is for actually is that if you are in a setup where you would like to record a program, this could be hooked up to your video mixer, and the final output before it goes to your source could be recorded here. You simply press record. Obviously I cannot record right now because I don't have a memory card in there, but you could simply record. And then you have the memory card options. You could format the memory card and what have you. And then you have the zebra effects, focus assistant, guides, grid, false colors, and you have different zebra. Right now zebra is at 40%. Let me go back, let me show you. There, you could put zebra off at 40, 50, 60, 80, and 100%. Zebra is when you have the white balance out of range, then it gives you the zebra effect. You already know if you're a professional photographer. I don't need to go explain that to you. And you have focus assistant, which gives you like little lines to allowing you to kind of do like I should say fine focusing. And let me feed video to that so we could do some focusing. Okay, so now I'm feeding a video to it, just so you could see the focus assistant. So if you go to focus assistant right now, it's off, but if you go to like low, you see those highlighted green areas. That gives you assistant to do a focus. Like watch how I move the focusing ring, how it gives me like very sharp focus, and it gives me focus assistant. And this is all in this screen. It has nothing to do with the camera. And then you could even go higher, medium, and you could go very high. Now I'm gonna leave it off for now, but that's something important to know. And then it has guidelines that you could assist in recording. And you have grids. The grid is currently off, but you can turn it on. And then you could even choose the frequency of the grid and what have you, how you would like the guides to be. Like for example, these guidelines, once you have the grid, you could have all these different guides, and even if you want to turn off the grid, you could have your guides at different setups. For example, this is your 4:3 standard recording, this is your HDTV recording, and then and this is your 4K recording, and what have you. And then this is your false color on and off. It tells you if there are false colors that you could adjust accordingly. It's currently off. And these are some settings. Now you have additional settings. You have like recording settings for the frequency, I mean the frame rate and resolution. The recording will be based on what's being fed to it. For example, I cannot change this to record 4K because this does not have a video processor to change the frame rate. It will simply record what's fed to it raw. It has some compression, but not too much compression. So the file size on this is huge. Okay, very, very huge. So now I'm gonna put this memory card here, and I'm gonna show you how this works. Let me put in this memory card. Okay, so the memory card goes in with the conductors on this side, or terminals on this side. This format is the recording format. So 1080p 59.9 frames per second. So that's what's fed in here. Depending what you feed, that's what you record. You cannot change it, as I mentioned earlier. If you feed it 4K, that will be 4K resolution. So the SD card format is right here. The card is ready. So you have card 1, card 2. You could start format, and you could format it external FAT 127 gigabytes, and how much recording time you get out of that card based on its capacity. As I said, depending on what resolution you choose, your capacity will differ. Currently, at the current resolution, you're getting 12 hours of recording on a 128 gigabyte card. However, this is the lowest resolution. I'm choosing this resolution, which is the lowest. Now you have multiple resolutions. If you go here, you have Pro Resolution High Quality, you have Pro Resolution, you have Pro Resolution LT, and then PR is the lowest. And this is DaVinci XHD 45. This is the software that comes with it, and those are the settings that go with that software. So let me actually show you. Let me show you. This is inside this box. This is the actual software that comes with it, and then you get DaVinci, this software. Let me show this in front of this camera so you can see better. So you get this DaVinci Resolve. You get this software with it, and you get software manual, and basically this shows how you can mount it in a professional setup, as you could see right there. And yeah, so now that software, these codecs right here are all DaVinci codecs that only that particular software will recognize. All the rest will be universally recognizable software recording. Now remember, this records MOV, so depending on which resolution you choose. And trigger record, you could trigger record from the remote camera as the HDMI signal is given. You could say yes, or you could record manually, and then this is your source to choose which source you want to record from. Currently the HDMI is chosen, but you could change the source obviously. And basically that's that. And let's see what else we have here. So that was these settings right there. This is your recording timer. So if I were to record, let me record this. The timer will start moving, and the recording has started now. And to stop, you could just stop. Now there is one thing in this, it doesn't have pause. So every time you turn on and off the record, it will create a different video file. It doesn't have a pause to pause and then you have a separate addition to the same video file. It doesn't do that. Okay, so let's see. The source is HDMI. Obviously you can change the source, as I mentioned earlier, and this is how many minutes you have left in that card based on the setting that you have chosen. Now, like I said, if you change the settings, your time will differ. So right now I have 2 hours and 41 minutes. Okay, now that's a lot of very high resolution to get 2 hours out of a 128 gigabyte card. So keep that in mind. This doesn't do a very good job as far as compression. It just dumps everything raw, and then you have to do your compression post-production when you put it in your editing software, Adobe Premiere, Final Cut, or DaVinci that comes with this, and what have you. So this is the playback. Is this you can playback? The timer will start. Yeah. Yeah, that's the playback right there. And then in playback, you could forward, rewind, and what have you. And let me stop this. This is where you see all the waveforms. For example, you could see the waveform of the video, and the parade you could see different colors, RGB, and then you could see the vector and the histogram and what have you. These are all the things that will come in handy so you could do the correct camera setup and to get a professional recording. So I'm going to give it a fair review, not unbiased review, because I bought this myself and it's not like a sponsored video or anything. I like the concept. Everything is pretty good. It's a great idea to have this setup. The only thing I didn't like about this, it has no compression, and the file size is extremely large. So you have to have a monster of a machine to edit it, and it's basically you will have nearly 220 gigabytes worth of worth of file for an hour or 2 hour video. So those are the things that you need to take in consideration. And other than that, it's a very nice little unit. You could see the fine print here. You could pause this section and read all the information about it. You can pause the video if you want to read that. And like I said, 2 batteries. You could remove one while still recording with the other, and then put a charged battery there, or you could run it off of the AC adapter. And you have HDMI in and out, SDI in and out. The input and output is exactly what you get. That's what the output is. This simply records it. So that's one thing. And then it gives the cameraman a lot of features to make sure their white balance is good, make sure their focus is good, and their framing is good. So it's a very nice tool for you to have when you're doing important videography of special events and what have you. And as you could see, you have advanced color correction with the software that comes with it. It's included the DaVinci Resolve software, and the DaVinci Resolve software will do all kinds of gadgets and capabilities. And you could, as you can see here, you could even mount it on top of a DSLR or mirrorless camera, mirrorless, full frame camera, so you could see exactly what you're getting instead of looking at the viewfinder or the small little display on the camera itself. So it's such a lovely addition to your SLR camera, and you could feed it 4K and record 4K. Now remember, this unit really records with no frame drops. I mean, I fed it 4K, I fed it 1080p, you name it, and there were no frame drops. So this thing is designed it's a workhorse. It's a workhorse. And one of the reasons why it doesn't drop any frames is because it's basically not processing the video to rewrite the frame rate or the video resolution. So basically it's recording raw. It's simply putting on the SD card what you feed it. Okay, so focus assistant, we already went through these that you could see. This is something I didn't mention, but that's for very professional use. You have 6 stored 3D LUTs. So if you need to recall up to 6 of them, you could store and then instantly recall them. You have histogram and audio meters, which you could change if you want it to be like a curved or bars, you could change it to bars or curves and what have you. And yeah, that's a very nice little unit. If it's not very budget friendly, I mean, it's kind of expensive as far as, you know, for average videographer it may be a little steep, $800-900, but it really pays off at the practicality when you're actually shooting something. I mean, imagine if you have a video mixer and then the output of the mixer from 4 or 5 different cameras is fed to this, and it's recording real time as you're switching cameras, like 4 or 5 cameras, 4K. Imagine that, recording real time on site, 4K. It doesn't get any better than that. So this is a marvelous unit to have. All right, okay. I appreciate you watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.